Meet me. All right, boys. Welcome back to another episode of Should You Pull? And unfortunately, we have a doozy here today because a lot of you newer players are gonna kind of be in a pickle because, unlike the other ones, like you guys know, I'm always honest and I tell you if a hero's trash, just skip it. But right now, we have two very good heroes on the banner, but we also know that the summer limited units are coming up. They're right around the corner. So if you're bookmark starved right now, unfortunately, you have some tough decisions to make. So I'm going to do a separate should you pull once the SSB and Hyufine banners come out. But I'm going to say right off the bat, real quick, everyone needs SSB. I don't care who you are, everyone needs SSB. If you do not have SSB, unfortunately, it's probably in your best interest to skip both of these two banners if you know you don't have enough resources for them all. Hyufine, I like her, but realistically, she's not used much. You can skip her. But SSB is a must have. But we'll do another whole video on that once those banners actually come out. So today we're going to talk about Krau and Ravi. So, Krau, should you pull? God, yes. Yes, he is just probably the best PvP knight in the game right now. And that's saying a lot. Like, a lot of people are going to say, oh, FCC, FCC. I will say at the Legend tier, Krau first pick is really not that rare. Because with the growth of like carrot gamers and just the fact that a lot of teams have such high opening burst, a lot of people just pick 30k HP Kraus, and their only intention is to immediately horse you if you open on them hard. On top of that, he is god tier in Guild Wars. You can just cheese any Guild Wars defense with Krau and a healer. Arena offense, I mean, he's also good there, but no one uses Krau on arena offense. That's got to be the most. If you're using Krau on arena offense, you have one garbage, boring arena offense. But if you're willing to deal 5-minute matches, he's honestly good there too. So realistically, Krau, if you have the resources, he is a must have for almost everybody. He is just a top tier unit, and I'm actually going to be summoning for him later on, so I'll do a summon video on him as well, because he's so good. I actually want one more imprint, because both Krau and LR Krau are some of my most used RTA heroes. Now, a lot of people have been complaining that I don't mention the artifacts in my Should You Pull videos, so we're going to start doing that. The reason I don't mention it, I didn't mention it in the past, is because you can't really pity them, and I would never recommend spending 240 powder on just these regular artifacts. Save those for the limited artifacts. That's why I didn't mention them, but I guess it's a good idea to just briefly touch on them. Holy Sacrifice, is it good? It's okay. Honestly, the only hero I ever see on this is a Tywin. I'd say about 90% of A Tywins are running Holy Sack. Krau needs to be on Aureus. Holy Sack is garbage on Krau. Don't use it on him unless you're just straight trolling. So realistically, I only ever see this on A Tywin because otherwise Adamant Aureus are just too key and too strong. Also, the rare person might use it on Fire Charlotte, but honestly, something like JFA or Symbol is far more common on that hero as well. So it's not a bad artifact, but the number of knights that actually use it at the high end is very limited, so definitely not really something you should be chasing. Next hero, Ravi. Is Ravi a must-have? Kind of, yeah. I mean, in the high-end RTA meta, she's largely fallen off. Like, it used to be back in the day, she was a very common, like, 2, 3, 4 pick. Now she's kind of relegated to a 5 pick. You really only draft her into stuff like grass. Like, if they pick, like, Landy, Basar, or something like that, then you could go Ravi. Or if they pick a very low DPS team, go Ravi, and she can single-handedly wipe out that team because a bunch of Soul Weavers and Knights are going to struggle to kill her. Except for Krau, obviously. Krau counters Ravi. But she's also really good in PvE. There are actually some Abyss floors where she dominates, and it's really hard to beat them without either her or Fire Tenebria. So even in PvE, Ravi is a very, very strong hero. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, strong in PvE. The automation tower, she can solo it because you can get that 100% counter rate artifact or whatever it's called. And I've literally soloed Automation Tower with Ravi. Guild Wars offense, amazing. Arena offense, same thing as Krau, too slow. And RTA, she's still a solid A tier, I think. Like B or A tier. Definitely an excellent pocket pick to have, but she's really not a core pick anymore. But it's still a very strong weapon to have in your arsenal. And I will say, even in Legend RTA, I have won 1v2s, 1v3s, and occasionally even 1v4s with Ravi. So, like I said, it's a tough choice. If you can only pick one, take Krau. And if you really only have like 600 bookmarks, then as sad as it makes me to say this, you might want to skip them both and take SSB. I know that hurts. But you know, sometimes you just gotta, when you gotta pick between drinking a cup of piss and eating a bowl of crap, you know, sometimes you just gotta take the piss. So if you don't have enough resources, take SSB. Otherwise, if you have enough for 2, take Krau and SSB. If you have enough for 3, you can't lose with going all 3, and honestly, skip Hyufine. Alright, so her artifact, Sigurd Scythe. Is this any good? This is a top tier artifact. Now, again, there's not that many people. Well, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of warriors. This is a great artifact to some. There's a limited pool of warriors that are very common in RTA right now. Ravi, most legend players run Ravi on Sigurd Scythe because having her heal on S3 is huge, and also when she's below 50%, she just heals to full with every hit. I personally prefer Timeless Anchor still, but I'm in the minority. Most top players are using Sigurd Scythe on their Ravis. Obviously, it's best in slot for ML Ken. Occasionally, some people use it on LQC, although really the Hellcutter meta for LQC is here. But honestly, it's probably one of the best artifacts for warriors in the game. For warriors, pretty much you always... It's one of those like default artifacts, right? Like for mages, your default artifacts are like Abyssal Crown, Taga Hells, or Violin. And you gotta really think before you put a mage on any other artifact. It's almost the same way for warriors with Sigurd Scythe. Like a new warrior comes out and you say, okay, we're gonna put it on Sigurd Scythe. Is there another artifact that makes more sense? But usually you can't go wrong with Sigurd Scythe. It's just that good. Like, it's basically increased attack plus lifesteal set. I mean, much better than a lifesteal set, actually, because lifesteal set is 20% and this at plus 30 is 50%. It's just absolutely bonkers. So, if you don't have any copies at all, I mean, I would still never recommend spending 240 powder on something like this, but hey, you know, this and like Crown and Alexa's Basket, those are kind of like the few non-limited artifacts that are just so good that, hey, maybe it will be worth it. So anyways, we're going to do another one of these when SSB and Hyufine comes out, but that is the priority order for me. SSB, then Krau, then Ravi, then Hyufine. Honestly, even Krau and SSB might be pretty close, but SSB is just so good at Wyvern that if you're a new player, like, if you don't have SSB, you are a new player, kind of, right? So you need it. It'll simplify Wyvern so much for you. She's a core component of the easiest Wyvern one-shot team to make. You really need her. So those are my recommendations. So if you guys do decide to pull, don't forget to go to channel 6887 and throw out a little meep. And hopefully that will save you some bookmarks because it's been mathematically proven by some very smart people. And I'm definitely not a liar. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and best of luck on your pulls. Till next time, boys, peace out.